Hey y'all, welcome to the Pace Studio in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm Ellen.
I'm Lizzie.
And this is the Week in Music, where we're going to talk about all the best new albums, songs, music news, and everything else you may have missed in music the past 7 days. And Lizzie's going to start us off this week.
Yes, so we have a new single from Sons of Raphael. This band has been around for a couple of years now, I guess. But they've kind of, I guess they've fallen off my radar a little bit.
Yeah.
Like they released this single 2 years ago called Eating People.
Oh, wow.
And I remember at the time being like, this is so weird. This is really refreshing. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm intrigued by this band.
Okay.
And then I kind of didn't hear about them for a little bit. Then they put out their debut EP the year after that.
Okay.
And then now this year, this is their first bit of new music.
All right.
So they have a new single. It's called He Who Makes the Morning Darkness.
All right. Well, eating people, and now we're making the morning dark.
Yeah,
we got all kinds of stuff going on.
Titles going on.
Yeah.
But it's really cool because the video is in a desert. And so there is this sign that says God is nowhere. But listen. So there are no spaces between any of the words or letters.
Okay.
So does it say God is nowhere or God is now here?
Whoa.
Now that's the question.
That's the question. My mind is blown.
So yeah,
wasn't expecting this, guys.
It's sort of a mythological, religious type of song lyrically. Musically, it's got some horns, some strings. It's a little bit funky. It's kind of chill, very eccentric vocals. Like that was one of the first things that kind of struck me about this band 2 years ago. So the vocals are very strange. The song actually sounds a little bit like Mercury Rev to me, kind of. Yeah, so like every song that they've put out so far has sounded different. So
yeah.
I'm just intrigued.
Man, what on earth will the next one be called?
See,
who knows?
Yeah, just even the title alone. I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued.
Yeah, so we're gonna hear a little bit of the song "He Who Makes the Morning Darkness" right now. So that was Sons of Raphael, and now Ellen, we're going to talk about your pick.
Yeah, let's talk about Andy Shauf, who is a singer-songwriter who we've loved here for a while now. He had an album that came out in 2016 called The Party, and it had a song called The Magician, which we were just all humming along before the taping
song.
of this show because it's such a great, catchy song. And the good news is that his new stuff is almost even catchier. He's put out, this is the second single from his new album, The Neon Skyline, which is coming out early next year in January. And I think this may be some of my favorite music I've ever heard by him. I have to maybe sit with that opinion for a little bit, but I've been really digging these songs. And the one he released this week is called Try Again. And we were just talking about, desert, bleak, just kind of strange, symbolic videos. And this music video is just a hoot. It's so much fun. It's like a stop motion animation video, and that arrived with the single. And it's super cute. The song's called Try Again. And it's just really catchy and kind of retro, kind of rock and roll, kind of got a little pop edge to it as well. And it's just got me really excited for the new Andy Shauf album. So let's take a listen.
Come on, baby, try again. Come on, baby, try again.
All right, that was Try Again by Andy Shauf. And now we're going to pivot to talking about something that is not present of this week. We're going to talk about the whole decade now. And that is because we've been publishing all of our lists about the best music of the decade. So we've done best albums, best songs, we've done genre-specific lists, we did rap, indie rock, pop. You can check all that out on the website, pacemagazine.com. But this week we published one that I think we're both really excited about, and that is the best live acts of the decade. And we rounded up 20 acts that not just artists who gave us one memorable concert, but artists who were kind of in it for all 10 years, consistently doing amazing things on tour. And I wanted to ask you first about what some of your favorites are.
Yeah, so I think first of all, we look for acts that are very distinctive,
Yes.
energetic.
Definitely. The energy's important.
Energy is important.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of my picks would have to be Idols.
Yes. That was like a no-brainer, I
it
feel
was-
like.
yeah,
For
just-
this list and for Pace, we all felt like that needed to be on there, I think.
Yeah, a lot of us are fans here.
How would you describe an Idol show? I know you've seen them more than I have.
I've seen them, I think, 4 times.
Yeah.
Yes. I've definitely found myself in the middle of some pretty
Some
sweaty
moshing?
mosh pits,
Yeah.
circle pits, crowd surfing, etc. I think they really, in a weird way, even though they're a punk band, like they kind of perform like a hardcore band almost.
Yeah.
And I think just having so many lyrics that are great to just like, they're just great, like rallying cry,
Yeah,
like
just, like,
everybody
scream. Everyone scream
there's,
together,
There's
yeah.
specific lines that people just go crazy for, and it's not even just their frontman Joe Talbot going into the crowd. Like a lot of times, it's their
Insane.
various guitar players that are
There's no stage.
over
It's
the
all
barrier,
just everywhere.
just
Yeah.
hanging over. Like it's a big sweaty mess, but it's a love fest. Like it's not
Joy is an Act of Resistance is the name of their album.
Yeah,
and that's kind of like what one of their shows is like.
they're trying to break down the sort of bro-y environment at a lot of those types of shows.
Right.
So it's a very uplifting experience for all their shows.
Love Idols.
But then my other pick is Florence and the Machine.
Amazing.
Who is almost like not even from this planet.
No, she's not human.
Yeah.
Her shows take you to another place for sure.
It's it's just like the elegance and like how light she is on her feet when she's
barefoot usually
dashing,
too, right? Just kind of skipping around.
dashing across, skipping, twisting, bouncing.
Amazing.
Running through crowds a lot of times, and like literally like her security is like struggling to keep up. Like she is fast.
Yeah, she's on the move.
And even vocally, it's just like this sort of near operatic kind of thing that just I think carries really well live.
Yeah, it's transcendent. I once saw her at Hangout on the beach, and she sang "How Big, How Blue, How Beautiful" on the beach.
That's an amazing.
It was just.
environment.
I agree. After seeing her, she belongs on this list. It's one of the most incredible live experiences.
And then you had a couple.
Yeah,
other
I have
picks.
a couple picks I wanted to talk about as well, and one of those is St. Paul and the Broken Bones. And you talk about the security guards chasing after Florence.
Yes.
Now they have to put on their sneakers to go after Paul Janeway, who is the lead singer of St. Paul and the Broken Bones. From my home state of Alabama. And his whole shtick is when they do a live show, he gets in the St. Paul character. He wears a cape, he's got glitz and glam on him. He's like, does not play an instrument, he just has the microphone. He runs all up and down the stage into the crowd, like you were saying with Florence. He told me once, I interviewed him a few years ago, that he got stuck underneath a drum kit when they were abroad somewhere in Europe or Sweden or something, and accidentally cut off something and all the sound went out for the whole show. This was not
ideal for a live concert.
And the only sound you could hear was the horns because they weren't plugged in,
Gotcha.
which I just think is a hilarious story that kind of gives you an idea of what they are like live.
Right.
It's rambunctious, it's rowdy, it's unbelievably fun. If you ever get the chance to see them live, I would definitely recommend that. And the other one that I wanted to talk about is one I know we also both love, which is Lizzo.
Incredible.
Like, how would you describe a Lizzo show? I mean,
it was just one of those things where I've just like never seen a crowd reaction like that.
Yeah.
Like literally a few months ago, so she was at the Tabernacle, which is literally across the street from where we are right now. I was there with our editor-in-chief was also there, Josh Jackson, and there was literally a full minute of like standing ovation / screaming in between every single song. I'm not talking like, first 2 songs, last 2 songs.
No,
I'm talking like song 10, song 12, song 5. Like she was getting emotional, and I think it's because it's like that mutual like transaction of emotion. Like she is giving all these amazing pep talks in between every song.
She preaches up in there for sure.
Yeah, so you feel like you're a part of this whole thing. There's literally no detachment between her and her fan base.
It's a 4D experience the whole time. And, you know, she plays the flute, too, which we obviously cannot not mention.
Her dancers
her dancers are incredible. Her outfits are incredible. I saw her at South by this year when in her home state of Texas, she had on like a Texas flag outfit. Like it was out of this world with the flute and the pep talks, like you said, and just everything else. And I think she's one we're going to be seeing live for many years to come, hopefully.
Yes.
Hopefully she's not going anywhere.
Fingers crossed.
And then the last one, which is our number one pick, this is what our staff voted as the best live act of the whole decade. And I got to say, I put my stamp of approval on this.
Solid
St.
pick.
Vincent.
Yes.
We voted her the number one act of the decade. And I have seen her a couple times only at festivals. But I will say, even in that, 45-minute, maybe an hour set, in some cases it was in a tent, I think. It is set up like you're seeing a movie. It is a 4D immersive experience. She's up there doing kind of the performative art that now like someone like Mitski might do with like just a lot of like very like stark movements and stuff like that. But it is just one of the most unbelievable shows I've ever seen. I mean, what would you say about it?
The visuals of her like videos behind her as the show is happening.
Very cohesive.
Yeah, and even I think one of the biggest things for me about St. Vincent is like her facial expressions.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like you're afraid of her, like sometimes you want to be her. Like
it's confusing.
It's and I also think we're probably both in agreement on this that she's one of the best guitar players of her generation.
One of the best guitar players alive right now.
And
definitely
has this amazingly designed guitar.
Yeah, and she switches them out, or at least in this show I saw, I think she had probably 10 different guitars in her hand throughout the night, all different color, but it's her St. Vincent guitar that she designed herself, which makes total sense because she just absolutely rocks it out every single time. It's just a very intense show. I mean, if you saw this year at the Grammys, she got on stage and sang with Dua Lipa, and I think America got the rest. America finally understood, like, wow, this woman is an intense, emotional, beautiful performer.
She's got the it factor.
Yeah. I mean, she's already a huge person in indie rock, but I mean, after this year, seeing stuff like that, I wonder if she'll go even bigger in the next few years. It'll be interesting to see.
Yeah.
But she's the best performer of the decade, and we again encourage you, if you ever get the chance, to go see St. Vincent.
She's iconic.
Yeah. And check out the list, the full list on pacemagazine.com. There's 20 acts on there that we have loved seeing this decade. And tune back in next week for the Week in Music, and we'll see you then.